on this week's of New Dad's Skin.
Yeah.
New Dad's New Skin. Exfoliation.
Easy breezy.
Color Dad. Yeah. Cover
Whoa.
Dad.
We're gonna restart
So.
then.
Cut.
Cut.
Hoping for buttery smooth. I have choked on the last 3 or 4 intros, so see if see if we
That's
got
just the
this.
charm. It's just the
We're all
charm.
gonna watch you now.
How will he blow it this time? Is always the question.
We have bets offline. Don't worry.
But there's always new original ways too. It's exciting.
I like the festive look behind Gavin too. It's like we're celebrating a launch.
There's a story behind why I'm
Okay.
tired, and there's
Yeah.
pink balloons behind me.
Uh
Yeah, I
oh.
want to ask. I
Uh
want to let.
oh.
All right, here it comes. Buttery smooth intro. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 1-year-old.
My name is Gavin. I also have a 1-year-old.
My name's Jeff. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old.
See, I was hoping you'd blow it for some
No,
consistency.
no.
And
That
a 2
was smooth.
and an 8-year-old. Dad, shoot.
I know my kids' ages. Don't worry.
Yeah, so based on your guys' advice, I have dropped the trying to add in the extra months. It's just he's a 1-year-old until he's 1.5.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
You just treat it like fiscal quarters.
Dad's always bankrupt.
I have
Performance is down.
I have a 1 in Q2.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a business joke for all you kids there.
Yeah, the 2 shareholders are not very happy with it. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, let's off the top. For audio listeners, Gavin sits amongst what could only be described as super festive pink balloons.
Well, there's a lot of
These
pink
streamers?
around tonight, yeah. Just
Okay,
like
so
average.
leaving inquiring dads do wonder, why is there
Yeah.
so many wonderful balloons around your desk there, Gavin?
Wow.
We had the party today
The party.
with the family coming by and all that.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was fun, but there was like we have a 700 square foot apartment, and we had about 20 some odd people in it. So it was good. It went well. Uh-oh, I'm losing my light here. Actually, I like that lighting. Might leave it. No, that lamp's hot. I don't want to.
It's a nice rosy glow on your.
It does. Put some life in my cheeks. Sorry.
Trevor
Hot
needs
lamp,
to borrow that.
balloon, sleeping baby, bad combo. Yeah, so we had the family kind of birthday shindig thing, and my wife went all out with the decor. Everything was really good. There's some really fun stuff that's not in camera, but we got like one of those. You buy like a box of alphabet pieces, and then you got to use these little vinyl connectors, and like, but they're so hard on the thumbs. Oh my goodness, my gaming thumbs weren't strong enough. I actually almost went and got a pair of pliers just to fasten everything together. It was, but yeah, the decor came together, the food came together. I set up, I actually referred to it as we needed some like manly food to offset just all the pink. So I made a meatball substation. So
Nice.
that was good, and we had a nice. Lindsay baked a really tasty cake, and I spent the morning like piping on all the decorations for it. And that's like there's all my art tuition at work, and no, it was fun. It was actually interesting, like doing like the cake decorating and stuff, and like I did the big butterfly and it had like shapes in the wings, and the shapes each shape was individually filled with sprinkles, which was a nightmare. I'm not doing that again. But yeah, no, it was like full on just next level parenting kind of stuff where I'm like, okay, we're leveling up now. Okay, let's do this.
What's
And
the
yeah, it went really well. She was great today. She was just we thought that she might be put off by the crowd, but she just loved it. Dancing around. She got a hold of her aunt's phone and was just like the phone was just playing music. She's like, I can carry music, so she just carried around and like danced. And yeah, no, it was the whole day was really really nice. It was I got to see lots of family and that, and it was some good times and yeah. So that's why there's streamers and balloons around me, and why I'm sounding like I'm just about ready to go to sleep.
What's the I mean, it's been a while. Obviously, it hadn't just happened, but now that
Hmm?
what are some of your reflections now that she is won? Are you finding any different emotions kind of coming up? Is it
Oh, this
surprising?
question.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Jeez.
I'm
Tears.
excited.
You're one.
I'm really excited. It's like she's won, and it's like she's walking around and getting into stuff and really curious and excited about like her toys and things that definitely are not her toys. And yeah, it's like when I see that, I just kind of see it's like okay, we get to play the next stage, and yeah, no, I think the primary feeling I have going into the next phase is just I'm really excited about it. Like she's just more fun to interact with now. It's just getting better and better and better. So I'm not sure what was it for you, Trev. I don't think we asked you when that came around. So
Yeah, I
we
think.
volley it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Been about 4 episodes, and
About time someone asked. No, the
Hint, hint.
yeah, yeah. Really, I don't care about you, Gavin. I just wanted to be asked, so I just had to sit
Yeah,
through
yeah.
your response.
Subtle. You're a
No,
subtle narcissist.
I was genuinely curious about you because myself had gone through it, and it's just yeah, I think very much the same thing. I wondered, and Jeff, like, I wonder if you can collaborate, but I don't know if it's just a dad thing around like, oh, good, now they're kind of safe and now they're kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Like
that
now
like
I
out of
get
the
to play
woods
with them a
feeling.
lot. Sorry, go say again.
There's that out of the woods feeling where you're like, okay, we made it. We're past that threshold. Now we just have fun.
Yeah, and the like I had a few sad. I've recently had some sad moments where it's just like you're holding or putting them to sleep, and it's just like, oh, you're so big already. This is it. You're not going to get smaller. And I literally thought about him as like 15 or 16. It just like this particular moment of like holding him quietly and him wanting to be held and putting him to sleep, and that like absolute and utter trust and need to be with me and desire to be with me, and how that probably will never exist again as he continues to get older. Like, and again, especially when he's like 12 or something like that. Like, this is it. Like, that's these moments. I've had a few of those where
Hmm.
it's like, wow, that's no more of this. Like, this is
Yeah.
these are very few.
You take that mental snapshot and you bookmark it, and you're like, okay, cool. But then whenever I kind of feel like, oh, is that me? Or?
I think someone's
Well,
shaving.
that's
Hold
been
on. That's my 5 o'clock shadow. Just let me.
That's Jeff's beard growing vigorously, setting the microphone off. Yeah, whenever I had those sort of feelings, like, oh wow, this is like these moments are, you know, they have an expiration date. But then I think it was like, yes, but they get replaced by something else. So it's like you might lose that cuddle time before bedtime, but you get to have those really fun moments like talking to them about dinosaurs for the first time and you know uh, when they're in adolescence and just kind of giving them some hopefully sound advice. Like
I would hope.
other things that you can kind of do with them and bonding experiences that are relative to those ages. So it's like each sort of age like there's those moments to cherish because they're very unique to that particular age. And yes, the one might disappear, but like there's gonna be something else to replace it. And I think sometimes if you think too much back on the one that you're missing, you'll miss out on the one that came in to swap out for. But yeah, there's always that sort of like bittersweet sort of it's like oh wow, like when we did the sleep training for her and we don't do the whole like cuddle her to sleep, like it was kind of like oh we don't get to do that. It's like no, you're cuddling with me till you fall asleep. That kind of went away to just like okay, we're gonna put you down in the crib and leave you to your own devices and your stuffed animal and all that fun stuff. That
I love
balloon
it how
kind
it's
of
floating in the background.
my
Just
balloon.
watching the balloon.
Yeah, no, I
Know
think
how to entertain Jeff.
yeah, no,
It's shiny.
so it's interesting. Like, yeah, so you had that same, and I think it's a uniquely dad thing. It's just around that. Okay, so you're kind of good now, And also
Yeah.
the excitement of like, oh, this is getting kind of fun because I can play with
Yeah.
you. Like we can
Yeah.
kick around things, you'll run around. Like Jeff, I don't know if you can remember back so far. You were so much younger at the time.
I had less gray hair back then, that's for sure.
But could you remember like what it like as they passed like the kind of like the 1 year threshold, like what your kind of feeling was?
It was like the hooray, we made it. Like 1 year.
Yeah. So it's a dad thing. It's 1 year.
Yes.
Dads are like it's a victory lap for the dads. That's what that party's all
It's
about.
it just seems more solid at that point. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's like, all right, now you are a little human being. You can kind of function kind of on your own, not quite,
Yeah.
but do you know what I mean? Like you're getting there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you start thinking,
Walk, and like you can walk, you can fall down and pick yourself back up. That's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, we also had our doctor's appointment this week too. Where like the
oh
doctor
yeah,
was like, "Yep, measurements are all good. You guys are doing fine. Everything's good. Here's some measles. Send her home."
yeah, exactly.
And you know,
Like here's a measles shots, or are they it's infected with measles the old-fashioned way?
yeah, 6
Well,
a
she
week.
survived.
Another, yeah.
Infected with this, she'll be strong, or she'll be gone.
Here's a
It's
blanket. It'll toughen her up.
it's funny though, like because you'll have those feelings of like, all right, let's do this all over again, and that's when number two comes in, right? And
I
then
don't know about that.
and then that year that passes for your second is like, oh, thank God. Like it's like
So you're saying that the
more desperation at that point versus like kind of signaling off the next phase. It's like,
yeah,
all right, now
so
I've
the
got my
1 year
life.
threshold changes on kid 2,
Yes, it does.
and you're like, oh,
Yep.
okay, we're past the hard part.
Yeah. I remember
So
this.
that's good to know too, because you're basically saying it's like, okay, the really like, you know, change your hair color difficult moment is past. Are you
Yes.
saying that Trevor and I are in the clear now, or
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
that's it?
Well,
You're good.
Cool.
You're
So
good.
it's just like clean sailing from
Yeah,
here
yeah.
to
Smooth
18,
sailing
and then
forever. Like, yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna see. I'll tell you, like
Good.
that's one of the main parts of our conversation. Like we are discussing number two, no firm plans and no announcements, nothing like that. But it's part of conversation. Like when are we going to start thinking about number two? And some part of it is just how like we survived and we got here and he sleeps through the night
Yes.
and it's kind of
Yeah.
and now it's like are we? Oh God, we got to do that again.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
we're
getting
so
back.
tired.
Yeah, it's like you get back to the base camp at Everest, and you're like, it's like,
Hey, let's go again.
Want to go again? It's like I want my frostbite to heal first, and maybe just make sure my toes can be all kept for later.
Yeah, I think the like.
You know.
I think the predominant thing is like it's more towards the desire for like the family that we desire, like longer term, about having like a more than just the one. And if we don't, who knows how these things go? It might not even happen. But
Yeah.
the big desires generally, we've always wanted the two, and it's literally that thriving for that goal that would have us have a second. I think at this point, as opposed to really missing the infancy so much.
Yeah.
It's certainly parts my wife like absolutely loved about having the infant. She definitely misses it. But thinking about having to go through that again is not very tempting.
And it's not really going to like through it again. It's going through it again with somebody screaming at you. So now you've got a 2-3-year-old that needs attention, and you have all this infancy stuff that you need to take care of. But I will give a dad tip. If you're thinking number two, wait for potty training. You need to potty train your first, then go. I
Space
would
it out.
suggest.
Isn't it? What's the distance though? Like, how many years apart does that make them? Like,
Well, it could be 3.
Depends on the
You could
kid.
start at 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be 5.
I have to look at his aptitude.
9
I'm like,
years.
this is gonna take a while.
Nice.
Congratulations, you're in grade 6 and you're finally potty trained.
Yeah.
Time for little brother.
Oh God, all this again. They've changed diapers. I don't know how to do them.
New space age diaper. And speaking of space aged,
Oh, geez.
Oh wow,
There's-
look at
wow.
that.
So
Up
here's
in the
the-
clouds.
there's the shallowest transition ever.
That's
Good.
good.
And his eyes are blue like the
Dad
sky,
transition.
like
It's
no
a
man's.
dad.
Oh,
Well, Jeff, my answer to that is no. No Man's Sky.
Oh,
Man, I
jeez. You need to have a list of what
Go
not
ahead.
to do.
just talk about the game. Just
Well, see,
No
I'm
more
curious about how
segues. No more
I could,
segues.
I could do four more, I swear.
No.
I
Problem
have
is, like,
new
I'm
Gavin.
trying to think about
You
how
can like see a
to.
chalkboard peeking out from behind him where he's just been writing them all down all day.
Yeah.
How can I just navigate this conversation back to what I want to talk about, which is all I want to do in my day?
Yeah. How many groans can I possibly make out of these two other dads? I'm curious how to structure this show because I could rant about this for the another next 2 hours. I don't. I almost suggest we. I'd like to cover like what you guys played this week. I'd like to hear about your gaming.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I want to get your crap out of the way, and then I'm gonna go off for 20 minutes,
Yeah, just mention
Uh,
by name and then continue on.
which is good. Okay.
give wink and nods and things were okay.
Yeah.
No, no, legit though, because and then also yeah, even like maybe even beer picks, just so I don't want anybody who's listening who like doesn't want to get into No Man's Sky. I don't want to have like this like well, it's not gonna be massive. We're not gonna like I'm not gonna keep you on air for like 4 hours talking about
But
it. But
it's letting everybody, including Jeff and I, know when we can just unplug and walk away.
yeah, exactly. It's a kindness.
This is gonna be a solo show pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Bye.
Yes. Like, well, it's been
New
nice
Dad
having you guys.
Sky.
New Dad Sky. Oh, that's great. That's nice. The legit though, what Gavin, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Good. Fatherhood, you guys kind of already heard it all. Gaming wise, I had a birthday, so that was great. And yeah, I got a couple games, which was also bonus from my lovely wife. She spoiled me good. Yeah, I got new Uncharted. I haven't cracked into it yet because I'm almost done three. I want to finish that off. But I also got Mad Max, and I did crack into that because I wanted to. I'm a huge Mad Max fan. I was like, even since I was like, my dad showed me that movie when I was a kid. So I've always been a big fan of the series. Like I'm like I like Thunderdome. Big fan of the series. And this game's doing it for me. It's just there's something gritty and gross and oily about it, and just like everything's rusty. It's just rust and oil and hate, and that's all it is.
Perfect birthday.
Yeah, it was a perfect birthday present. No, it's a really good game, and I really at first I didn't know if I'd like my little hunchback buddy, but I dig him. He's cool. And the whole quest to build yourself a new car, because the game starts off, spoiler alert, your black on black, the V8 Interceptor gets toast. It's just done, it's gone. And which is sad, but then you meet this little hunchback dude who wants to build the most glorious car in all of the wasteland, and you're like, fine, I'll drive it. And that's pretty well, like, the main focus in the game is just pure selfishness, which is totally Max. It's like he's selfish, and then he helps people like by it's like collateral help instead of collateral damage. And so yeah, and the driving feels really really good. The driving fights feel good. The fisticuff fights very Arkham, Shadow of Mordor kind of feel.
Yeah, I was about to say Shadow and Mordor, right? Like
It's
it's
very
very
Shadow of
similar.
Mordor. It's like Shadow of Mordor with a muscle car and Marauders.
Is it the same? Is it the same studio? Like
I
they
think so.
really look
Yeah.
like they. Is it is?
I think there's at least some crossover. I think
Yeah, there's
Avalanche did
something
a
there.
bit of work on the other. And they even have kind of a nemesis system in it. Not as procedural, I don't think, but like the warlords who look after the camps, like you can investigate their weaknesses before trying to take them on. So it's like you can figure it's like, oh, this one, warlord he doesn't like fire, which was a very Shadow of Mordor thing. It's like that Orokai doesn't like fire. Just set him on fire and you'll win. Um, so yeah, it has that aspect to it. I haven't really explored it too much. I've just really been driving around and smashing it and stuff. But yeah, a really really fun game. As far as my pick of the week when it comes to adult beverage in my OCP themed
Oh, nice.
glass, I have the Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. I thought I would taste it
Ooh,
in front of
Nice.
everybody. There's a bottle. That beautiful podcast lighting, and
Pink.
yep. And it's I have already enjoyed a bottle. Don't worry, I spaced it out, and it's one that I basically I measure the quality of my whiskeys and ryes and scotch on am I going to add ice, and if it's really good, it's a hard no, and I will refuse to add any ice to it for the duration of the bottle. And yeah, the Northern Harvest Rye is one of those where it's like, yeah, no, not adding anything to it, and drink and enjoy the entire thing neat. And yeah, it's got some sort of actually somebody described it to me today as having some appley notes, which I agree with now. And yeah, it's got a lot of fun stuff going on, and it's like each time you have a glass, it's you can kind of explore a little bit more of it. So that's my pick of the week, if you can
Nice.
find it,
Yeah.
which
Well, my
is kind of easier now that the hype has died off.
now that the hipsters have left it, have moved on to side launch.
Honestly,
Oh
like
God.
my LCBO, all they have in stock is Northern Harvest Rye and Side Launch. That's like all that's on the shelves.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a bottle of Martini and Asti to save your life. So
Yeah. No, my favorite description came from uh, I'd call him a whiskey aficionado. Aficionado?
Aficionado.
Aficionado. Thank you.
aficionado, I like
Aficionado.
aficionado.
Was like
There's always a word.
aficionado. The that I work
It's
with
like
in
Pee Wee
the
Herman, but like reverse Pee Wee Herman. Like what's the word of the week that Trevor's gonna kind of
I love it.
this
We should flash it
overall-
on screen next.
yeah.
We all have to see
At
it.
least I'm honest about it.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
myself.
great.
I'm like,
it's all good.
oh guys, I
Most
did it again.
myself
My
included,
English.
most people just motor past it. It's like I'm just gonna hope nobody noticed. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. At least you're like,
The
wait a second, that didn't sound right. Everybody help me out here.
gentlemen, that didn't. Those words seem to be rubbish. Confirm.
Yep.
No, I liked his description of it where this has no business being this good. Especially it's like $35 bottle. I think it's Crown Royal. You
Yeah.
wouldn't think much of it. And him taking is like, yeah, this has no business being this good. This is
I bet the
phenomenal.
company is like so kicking themselves for price pointing at that. Like, it's like, wait, you think this is worth more? We could have asked for, you would have given us more money for this? It's like, yeah, everybody would have given you like twice as much. Happily. Like, this is as enjoyable as like an $80 bottle of scotch, easily. And you guys just, I didn't ask, so I'm not going to give you the money, so.
They'll come back
Okay.
retroactively. They'll find all the
Yeah.
bottles and demand $20 more.
Yeah.
So Jeff, yourself, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Fatherhood was good. My kids are in camps this summer, so every week is a new adventure. This week was Taekwondo, where my kid walked away with a black eye. So
Nice. Badge of honor.
Shiner.
yeah,
The
it wasn't
steak on there.
anybody. It was a stationary object. It was a punching bag that was on the floor.
He got a shiner from the
Yep.
punching bag on the
Yep.
floor.
Yes.
There you go.
Or as I like to tell the story, the 6-foot bully that was
Yeah.
pushing
Oh, no.
everybody
Yeah.
around.
No, he tripped and fell on it.
Yep.
So
It's funny.
big.
That's when it happens. Like I never got knocked out in a fight, but it was during a choreographed demo where I flipped somebody, all choreographed. We'd done it like dozens of times, and their foot came up, caught me in the jaw, knocked me out cold.
Oh my God. Choreographed knockout. That's
Choreographed
horrible.
knockout. That's how I lost my last baby tooth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, well, this is along those levels. It's just
Yep.
picked
It's
him
like-
up and big
yeah,
black
it's like
eye.
you think it's like, well, you get the sparring. No, I
Nope.
ran into. Like, it's
I ran in something
something.
something that you were supposed to punch me back.
Yeah.
So
Aw.
that was fatherhood. So kind of
There you go.
putting some ice on that.
But hey, it's your kid's first shiner. That's like a rite of passage.
Second
Oh,
shiner.
Never mind. I jumped the gun there.
Yeah. You know, first month of school, we were well known in the principal's office
Oh.
because he was tripping and falling. He wasn't getting into fights,
Okay.
Okay,
but
yeah.
hurting himself.
It's like that's the wrong way to introduce that. It's just like
Yeah,
what
everyone's
troublemaker
like,
and
oh, your kid's a scrappy one.
Oh no, yeah, that's me
he's
spinning
just
it.
a klutz.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, he's more badass. No, he fights stationary objects that
Yeah,
or
yeah.
inanimate objects that
Your kid is in a
like that.
lifelong battle with gravity.
Yeah. They fall upstairs. They don't fall downstairs.
Yep.
So,
So
um,
far he's like 0 for 2. So
yeah. So
Gravity!
every year on his birthday, he's like, "We made it! Another year! All right." So many black eyes.
uh,
But yeah. But in terms of gaming, I will mention that my son with the black eye also bought Pokemon Y. So he's semi-reading in his 3DS and navigating that, which is actually pretty exciting because all the other games before that were like Mario games or like Mario Kart or something that's easy to get a hold of and kind of go without, reading the menus. So
mhm.
now that he can read a little bit, he can try to navigate like this semi-RPG like game, which is actually pretty neat.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
then when he
That's
goes to bed, I play it a little, but then I put it back down.
like with his character, like you're pushing him along, or it's
No, 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 I won't save it,
okay.
but
Um,
I'll know what's coming.
you're like, I'm gonna respec you for tomorrow because
Yeah.
that way.
It's mainly so that I know the answers to his questions, because
Oh, you're doing
otherwise,
R&D.
right? You gotta
That's
know.
smart.
I'm like the
Look, darling, darling, look, I don't want to play this. This
I
is
know I
this
have
is
to.
for Junior. This
I
is
have, I have to do
So
that.
this is a like parental gaming recon.
Yeah. It is, and I think you have to do it. Games are
Yeah,
so
like you
complex these
just do it
days.
ahead, and then that way in the morning, if like you're about to go off for your day, and I know you're gonna hit a wall because I know there's this tough part, I can be
Right.
like, hey, use a fire. What? Just trust me. Just
Yeah.
use fire.
he's
The
weak
kid's
against
gonna think it's
poison.
psychic.
He knows so much.
Yeah.
I love my dad.
My dad's a wise old sage. It's like, no, he just stays up all night
No.
playing the
Yeah.
game.
Plays it when you're asleep. That's okay.
I can remember pushing back against one of my young cousins. He had his Game Boy too. I think he's playing Spyro or something, platform or something to that effect. And there's this one pit and he couldn't get across it. He's like, "Hey, can you beat this for me?" And I'm looking at him like, "Well, I can." The problem here, the problem here is that if I do it, like you need to learn this because it's not like this is never gonna. This is one of those core
Classic
game.
dad line. That's a dad line right there. If I
But
do it
that's
for you, you're not gonna learn.
well, legit, because it's like if he doesn't learn this particular jump, there's going to be 1,000 other jumps like
Yeah.
this that he can't get, and it's just like this is not going to help you at all. This is just
Yeah,
guaranteed. I see you again every 3 minutes because you didn't learn the jump. So you gotta.
yeah,
Sorry, man, you're gonna die a lot. You gotta figure out this jump.
Go with it.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most you do is like if you hit the button twice, he jumps twice as far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like you give him the hint, you give him the info, but it's like, no, no,
Now
you
you
got to
do it.
work on the motor skills, buddy.
Yeah.
No,
So
do those
That's
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 push-ups.
pretty man. That's pretty. Geez, his like a full-on Pokemon game. Like that's RPG. That's
Yeah,
that
you're gonna
he
have to
bought.
stick in Pokeballs.
he
Yeah,
bought all this.
Oh,
he
really?
bought it. Yeah, he saved up his allowance and his birthday
Nice.
money.
All that insurance money, or
Yeah, all the black eyes. And no, he bought it, so it's his own game, and he's going through it. So I hope it holds his attention. That's always my fear. Is when I was growing up, well, back in my day, I could only afford like one game like every, I don't know, 6 months or something. So I was stuck with it for a while. And like you knew the ins and outs of that game, but you loved it every day. So I
Mhm.
don't know with like now and mobile gaming, we've gotten into that before, but there's so many distractions, right? So
Yeah,
I just
there's
hope
so
that he
many new
sticks.
pulls. Well, also back in our day, we could do a little bit more research. Like we had the video store, which would have all the game rentals.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we could go and be like, okay, I want to play this, and it's like you could rent it for like $3
yeah,
and just play it and play it and play it. And if you're like, I want this in my life,
yeah,
then that's when just that's when you save up for it or it goes on the Christmas list. But
yeah,
we could just like it was almost like a paid demo, or it's like you just play it as much as you want, and then you take the cartridge back to the video store.
yeah.
And that's where I did a lot of my like knowing whether I really wanted the game or not. And then that's sort of how I knew to ask for it or hunt it down myself with allowance money. But that's not as common now. Like even
No.
demos for games are starting to slip away, and it's hard for a kid to really explore and figure out what they want and then go for it. Instead, they just have to blind faith buy. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of that's sad.
It's hard, but it's it's exciting too, and like it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Go for
I don't get it. What do you mean? I agree.
Take that transition. Take it.
it. Sure. Anything
Transition? I don't see it. What do you?
Take
However, do you mean?
Come on, man. Mike's all yours. Sky's the limit.
We're lifting off some.
Like in a plane? I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky released. It's here. It happened. Yeah. So
He's
the
so
short,
happy. Look, he can't stop smiling. He's just,
yeah, man, it's so good. The short answer to
You
it
think he had
is
another kid.
yeah. It's like, Trevor, you didn't smile that much when your baby showed up. I've had a second child of no man.
Poop at me, so.
Yeah. No, the man, this game is great. Like it's so the short review of it is I'm loving it. It's enjoying like every minute of it. It's surprising how much how they delivered on it. Like they delivered the game I thought it was going to be, as they had almost like promised, like within 3 years. Yeah, just loving every second of it. Like it is. It's certainly that's kind of like the short summation of it, because the longer answer is even better. Like I'm definitely happy with my decision on the PS4, because there were all these issues with PC launch.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like Arkham City style like issues. But was it Arkham City that had the PC issues, the latest one?
Yep.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Yeah.
They were talking Arkham Knight level PC issues, unfortunately, that arose. The developer made good. They released some patches. They released some workarounds too, so some were able to get it going. But the PS4 version, as far as like just lockdown console gaming specific item, that really paid off. And this is the first time too I'd ever done a pre-order. I was actually awake when it counted down the night of. I think it was like Monday. It was like Monday at midnight, and you're just watching it like slowly tick, and then you can press play. You just like boom, like you're into the universe that you've been looking at for 3 years. And so it is so very much of it. So let me take you through one of the scenario I'd gone through. We discovered a space station for the first time, talking to 2 aliens. I'd pieced together enough of their language to be able to figure out a riddle that they'd kind of posed to me. Made some sales. I saw some ships that I couldn't quite afford, but okay, maybe I'll buy them later on, and hop back into my ship. In this particular system, there's 4 planets I hadn't discovered yet. So looking around at various ones, all of a sudden this huge alert shows up on my HUD. There's a cargo ship in danger. It's a distress beacon, like somebody please come help us out. So okay, sure, like I'll blast over there. So scoot on, throw my thrusters, I blast over towards this cargo ship to try to help out. Next thing I know, there's just 12 other attacking ships, like just completely overwhelmed. So I'm doing my best to try to take some of them down, but I am woefully underprepared for this. My ship is underpowered for it. I am like near death. I have 3 of them just right behind me, just pelting me. So nothing else to do. I can't help anymore. So I just aim myself at the closest planet and just hurl myself fast as possible. So boom, go flying down to this planet. They're following me almost all the way down. At the last minute, they kind of shoot back to go back with a cargo ship. So now there I am, all my depleted almost absolutely everything, and I'm able to find a starport. A couple things had gone offline, had to fix them. Wasn't selling it in the starport, so I had to try to find it nearby. Hop out of the ship, going through the world. So at this point, like there's a couple minerals there, and decide to mine it. The sentinels that are across everything do not like you mining their minerals, so I start getting attacked. I take out 2 of them, but a big one sees me. All of a sudden, I got a 3-star wanted level on this planet. So now I'm running away from these sentinels. I'm just getting blasted and pelted, and I've got a bunch of materials that I need, so I don't want to lose them and die. So I go running into a cave system, and lo and behold, actually I'm pretty safe. Like the sentinels kind of drop off. But I've completely gotten lost in the caves. I am deep down in these caves. I spent the next literally 30 minutes kind of just exploring these caves. The network is huge. And at one point I even had to blast through a wall. I could see that there were resources on the other side, so I knew that there was a cavern. So I took out in-game what's a grenade, kind of like a grenade launcher, and just started blasting the earth and digging my way through to a second cavern. So now get out to that and finally make my way back to the surface. But I am, according to the like walking time, about like 12 minutes away from my ship. So
Wow.
I got a long way to go. And this is a hazardous planet. This one is generally livable, but it gets super cold, so I'm gonna have to try to keep finding stuff to keep myself alive. So now I'm like slowly like making my way through, finding little colonization points, like little places where aliens were, picking up materials as I go, just trying to make sure I stay alive. And like that particular experience is wild because I felt so alone as far as like a star, like just being marooned on a planet, despite there being some mini huts of alien life. And then finally, just like as I crest over this hill, there is the ship smoldering a little bit, still in one piece. There's all the aliens. Was able to repair it up, blast off in the stars, and get on to the next one. And that was like one playthrough, And this like it is just man,
If this
man, they
is
did it.
if this is a tutorial for your like space exploration, you personally, I don't think you should go. Like you're the one to
Yeah,
help a
if this
cargo
is your
ship.
audition tape for
Yes.
for the
Failed.
Canadian astronaut program, maybe
Yeah,
you
I
hold
don't think
on.
Elon Musk is going to send me to Mars
Yeah.
after
I can get the Hadfield stamp. I don't think.
disqualified. But yeah, all suffice to say, like it's just incredible. I think you have to have certain expectations going into it. I think some folks, what was more amazing was watching the anger and the negativity kind of swell up. And I'm curious, like I'll never quite know the numbers, but you look at like the Reddits that are talking about it, even on Twitter, and like, does this represent the vocal minority? Are people who are generally happy not going online and just saying, "Yep, we're like pleasantly pleased," as opposed to somebody who gets angry about it and go
Well,
online and
the
discuss
happy
it?
people are too busy being like you and just playing it. Like the happy people aren't chiming online because they would. What are you gonna take time away from the game to go brag about it on? No, you're gonna play more. Like,
Yeah.
but like the complaining people aren't going to go play it. They got nothing better to do because they're not liking the games. They're just gonna whine. But no,
I
like just your description alone, and like today I saw somebody. They're like every time I discover a new creature, and they posted a video, and they had like the da na 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 na. I was like, oh, that's so
Jurassic
perfect.
Park, that's amazing.
That's
And
perfect.
I saw like an Ewok creature just like bull rush somebody and almost kill them. And I'm like, I just want to do this. So I'm
Yeah.
very sold on it. Like
No,
I want to pick it up. I might end up picking it up before I finish because it's my dessert, and I'm playing a lot of broccoli games, which are really good, and there's good story and stuff. But I'm like, this is kind of a carrot on the stick game for me. They're not actually no, they're not broccoli games. Like they're really good. Like it's like a good steak dinner.
Yeah.
But like that's No Man's Sky is very much a piece of cake that I'm like, I should finish what I'm
Well,
eating right now. But
it's your beer, your glass of water. You take a sip now and then. You just pick it
yeah,
up and you
I just
jump in,
kind of hop between.
hop
That's why
in.
I might get it digitally too, so that way like the game that my primary narrative game is in the
Yeah.
disc, and then I just it's like, you know what? She's down for a nap. I got 30 minutes. Let's do this thing.
boo.
I do. I do.
How are actually, yeah, Trevor, if you don't mind describing, like, how is it? Is it a dad-friendly game? Like the play session lengths, are you getting a lot of like for the time duration? And is like the load times, are they good too?
Yeah, so the load times you don't really notice. I got some concerns about the dad ability, I guess you'd want to say,
Yeah.
as far as playing this as a dad, because scope in some ways doesn't matter because there's not really an end. It's not like you're trying to rush towards like the finish of it. This is really about just getting in and floating about.
Yeah.
But in the scenario that I mentioned, you have to kind of find a save point.
Mm.
And that a lot of times, like even when you just get in and out of your ship, I think that counts as a save point. But that means you have to be in your ship, or you're going to have to find a building. So what that means is like at the instance that you need one, there might
Mm-hmm.
not be it, which
Okay.
is troubling for a dad, right? Because uh, baby turns over a table, like you got to deal with that immediately.
Yeah.
You can't like just 5 more minutes while I find a.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, no, 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 they're in the garbage can now. So
He can suspend it though, right? He
see,
can
you're
suspend the
braving
game.
me, like, 'cause
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. I don't game when she's awake, because I just can't, because
Yeah.
I'm not brave enough to do that.
So
It's
I
like,
say sessionable certainly though, because like you could always just get a couple things accomplished. Like I'm just gonna hop onto another planet, or I'm gonna go explore this cave system. I'm going to grind it up a little bit and make a bunch of money, or fight some
Yeah.
sentinels. Yeah, so certainly from a sessionable, like I'm gonna sit down and have a block of time to do it. I think absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So if you sit down for like an hour or so, you feel like you actually got some stuff done.
oh yeah, and I think it helps that like just the sheer size of it. One of my favorite, I saw a review of it. And one thing that he pointed out was if you don't like a planet, just leave. Which
Mm.
is, it sounds like a minor thing, but like it's so counter to completionist. Like, oh, I better finish this area. I better collect all the things. And it's like, no, no, no.
No,
There is
Yeah.
quadrillions of planets. There's so much of this. You can just leave this one. If you don't like the color palette, like leave because you can, like ideally you're going to try out a couple of different ones. So you get like you're on a cold planet, you're on a hot planet, a dusty one, so you get some
yeah.
variety. But if you're on it and it's just not doesn't
You're
fit
just
your
not digging it. It's like just hit
leave.
the respawn button.
There's so many planets. Get out of there.
Yeah.
And yeah, because
It's
that
almost like the anti-completionist game,
oh, so much so. It's
which, if
unbelievable.
anything, is like actually a really good dad game because like it has longevity, but there's no sense of responsibility. And it's like there's enough responsibility in our lives as is to have a game that's like almost like the ultimate casual game because it's just like just do what you want to do, like just fly around, do stuff, get into trouble, don't get into trouble, we don't care, just have fun in the sandbox.
Yeah, I
um
think yeah, I had that thought too because there was this one where at one point there was a I guess you got like a mining holding dump. Like it's just like big canisters filled with like precious resources, and you just had to destroy it. Which I don't tend to go down the renegade type of path, so I'm just like, it's space, whatever. Just start destroying everything, and then sentinels start showing up and start chasing me, and like I'm blowing those up, and just yeah, with complete lack of responsibility. Like it's certainly freeing as a game.
I love how like Trevor in Fallout 4 just cared about everybody.
Everything, yeah.
But
Yeah, it's like
Trevor in No Man's
whatever.
Sky, he's just like a honey badger. He does not give a shit. He's gone.
Superhero game.
Doesn't
I can do whatever I
care.
want.
But I'm
Like
just this tiny speck. Like it's so insignificant. Like that.
so nihilist. You're just like, I don't care. What's the point of it all? I'm gonna blow this up.
Destroy this planet, go to the next. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. I'd be curious if they ever start introducing missions and like good and bad sides. Like I certainly. Yeah, there's no really particular renegade options. You can't really screw people over to any particular benefit, and actually it behooves you to. There's some interactions you have with aliens, and I'll say seeing the first Alien because they did not show any. Well, I also
Yeah.
wasn't poring over trailers either, but they were not showing aliens or anything. So
Hmm.
getting that fresh was so like so
Yeah.
exciting. But it certainly leans towards benefiting you to help them, to help yourself, really. Like again, it's a little bit selfish, but they're like, oh no, I'm out of this particular material. If you give them 10, then they'll give you, a much better prize in the back.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of like stab him and take his clipboard. It's much more about like, oh, he's having this current situation. If you would like to get something, kind of help him out.
Yeah. It's like like with Mad Max. It's that collateral benefit where it's like you're not
Yeah.
out. You're out to help yourself, but if other people happen to get helped in the process, then congratulations to them. But at the end of the day, it's like you know, it's how the numbers fall on your end. Um, so yeah, that's curious that that's happening in that game as well, where it's like your interaction with the alien isn't as much of like, oh, I'm gonna bend over backwards to make sure that everything is handled for you guys. It's like, no, am I gonna benefit in this transaction? No, okay, I'm gonna fly to another planet. It's like, it's like that whole like, the game is literally bigger, better deal. And it's like if this planet's not meeting it, if the inhabitants of this planet or this space station are not going to have a mutually beneficial agreement, then it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, off I go. Now, is there like a core main story that you're following right now, or are you just kind of flying around?
Actually, so that man, it's kind of, geez, I don't know if it's I'm trying to think. There's kind of a decision to make at the beginning that which I don't think that's too spoilery to talk about.
If
It's
it's in the
everywhere.
first 10 minutes of the game, people
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
deal with it.
Okay, so you basically get it's either like you follow. There's something called Atlas, which is this overarching, um, almost like deity-like entity throughout the universe, and it's either like you follow the path of. It's all about getting to the center of the universe. Like that's the main thrust. Like get to the center of the universe, and you are super far away from it. Like I think if you poured in everything towards it at the and did nothing else but just try to travel that way, I think you could probably do it. Like the one playthrough online during the league, I think was 30 hours. He was
Hmm.
able to just like beeline it right for it. That might be the case if you never stop anywhere. But yeah, so the central idea is to get to the center of the universe, and there's not a lot discussed. There might be spoilers out there somewhere, but I don't have a lot of idea why you would do it. And the only real choice you make is whether or not you do it with the assistance of Atlas, or you just want to go your own way. Like, do you want to
Hmm.
be just no? I want to be a free spirit, and just kind of just do it however I want to do it, or you're like yes, I will follow like Atlas's guidance and head towards that thing. And bizarrely, what it kind of read to me when I had those choices for myself going through is the Atlas one kind of felt like you're the hero, like this is your destiny, like you're the one, and you got to like help and get to it. Not, and it really wasn't so heavy on the sense that like you alone are the one single hero of it, but it was certainly hero-esque, as in follow like follows a particular path. And it's funny, like I'd say the only time in video games that I wouldn't have taken that choice has been this game
Hmm.
because I didn't want that responsibility.
So you just opted
Yeah.
for the, nah, I'm good, I'm just going to fly around.
That was it. Like I literally had that thought. I'm like, I don't want to be.
Honestly, I have a feeling that's where I'm going to gravitate to because it sounds more appealing to me. It's like, it's like, I don't want to be Space Messiah. I just want a spaceship and fly around. Just give me a spaceship and fly around.
I just want to chase space pineapples. Come on.
Uh,
I want to go to that
that's what,
planet. I don't want to go to your planet.
I
yeah.
don't want to go that way. All the
Apparently, I've read that like there's these elusive like Dune-esque like serpents that people are trying to hunt down because they saw it in a
Yeah.
trailer and they can't seem to find them now, and it's like I want to find one.
oh yeah, that's one of the
Like
salty
snakes.
bits where they just like, where is it?
Yeah,
This developed
Well,
as a liar.
that in the multiplayer, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
multiple.
that was a big deal. So like two in this against all odds, there were two players who were able to get to the same planet at the same time,
Yeah,
and they were not able to see each other.
Yeah.
yeah,
And they had different. You could even see in their streams like there's two different times of day. Like one is in the morning, one is at night. So
yeah.
the huge accusations all around, anger, like oh, like are we actually multiplayer? What's the
No, they're
truth?
not. It's not a multiplayer game. It's a single player game where you have a shared database of names. That's it. You
Yeah,
might stumble across something your friend named, very, very slim likelihood, but like it's not meant to be. It's not Destiny. Like it's not. I don't mean that as like it's not your destiny to play with your friends.
No, the game.
Not. It's not a Destiny-esque game. Like it's
Yeah.
not an MMO. Like it's not meant for you to team up with your buddies, like meet up on a planet and then go do stuff together. Like it's like it's a passive interaction, even more passive than something like Journey, where it's like you don't even know who you're playing with. Like this one is just like the community's crafting and naming this universe together by discovering things and allowing it to be generated procedurally and then like saving it with a name.
Yeah.
But it's a different way of interacting with the community. It's not your typical sort of like, but I want to make sure that I can do a little twirly dance and the other person's going to see me and I spent a lot of money on this hat. I want them to see it. Like it's not
yeah,
that. It's something new. It's something different, and like
yeah,
people just got to wrap their heads around that. This is something new. It's great that other stuff still exists. And it's a lot of fun, but that's not what this is. This is
yeah.
something entirely. It's a solitary. It's a solitary endeavor where you can
That's
put your name on things.
that's not supposed to. Now, technically speaking, like from you are supposed to be able to see each other. Like that is it's supposed to. It's not again. It's
Yeah.
not. It literally it was like stated as a bug. Like
Yeah.
those two people should have been able to see each other. So that's something, one of the things that they're going to be fixing.
Hmm.
And you can imagine them releasing a patch. There's been some discoveries of these weird looking portals, like
Okay.
super bizarre looking, and everyone's like walking around like they do nothing. Like they can't. No one can figure out how to enable them. And there's some one of my favorite theory is that if you find one, you can temporarily leap to wherever your friend is. So if you did, because there is some fun to like being with a buddy and like jumping around a planet, and that's not again
There.
much. You were on point. Like it is not about that as a game,
Yeah.
but as as an aside or as a quick kind of fun thing for a night, if you wanted to hop on with your buddy, you could maybe map on the stars where there's one of these portals, and then you could just meet up for a couple hours type of thing.
If you've had a friend that you haven't had a chance to hang out with because of maybe just schedule or you live in different towns now, and it's like, well, since we can't meet for coffee, let's go meet on this ocean planet and look at sharks. Yeah, okay. Like to have that ability, that's pretty cool. Um, to experience those new sites together would be nice. So yeah, I like that conspiracy theory. I think that's cool. I think that would be nice to. That
Trevor's
would be
going
like,
into the
honestly,
game.
my PSN account, and I know this sounds sad, but I got like 0 friends, and that's on purpose.
Oh,
I know,
Womp womp
but
womp
I haven't bothered
womp.
seeking out people because I just don't play multiplayer games anymore. So I just don't do it. So it's like, but what's great is when I boot up my PS4, I have no notifications coming up, nothing. It's just like so quiet.
I owe nobody nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's so
nothing.
peaceful. I love this.
It's like my own little library. It's like everything's quiet.
Yeah,
Everything's where it should be.
man.
Nothing's
If I could pick up that theme for a second, I mean since playing like I have been sleeping so well this week while playing this game.
Oh,
Like it is literally so relaxing.
Okay, that's good to know too, because
Cause,
right now
cause
before bed, I'm literally harpooning marauders out of hot rods in the desert. So
yeah.
maybe if I switch it up and fly around and get
De-stress.
chased by space teddy bears and dinosaurs, I'll sleep better.
yeah, like you just like float over this way and then like okay, I'm gonna mine this resource. Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna come over this way. Instead, you're going around and the landscapes are like serene and beautiful. The music is incredible and it's stunning, and it certainly has
That's
some
procedural
crescendos.
too. I think it's
Music?
procedural as well. Yeah.
Oh,
I think the whole thing is.
Ooh. Someone snuck a kiss goodnight.
brief wife kiss on the head. Yep.
Well, I only got the small view though, so I think you were safe.
Ah,
I'm still on the
she's
fence
getting
about that game though.
No
Yeah.
Man's Sky?
Yeah.
How dare you?
The thing that I do not like is you can't crash. So I don't like that it kind of like pillows you into the planet.
Can't
And
crash. I heard
no,
you could.
it just lands you.
No, the flying's pretty bad, honestly. Like
Oh,
in space, there's some cool moments in space, but even that feels a little soft. I'll say the actual.
flying game.
I know, patch it out. Just patch it out. I'm pretty sure that's easy. That's
Polish that.
Yeah, I think they could improve how the space flight feels. At the moment, it's a little bit mushy, and especially the planet. Like you're flying low on some planets, and you're seeing these like archways and some of these like valleys, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna just like
yeah, and go
zoom
through.
in, and you can't.
Yeah.
Like it
No.
keeps you a certain distance above.
Oh, so if you fly too close to the planet's surface, you just
You just
land.
can't. It's almost like an invisible wall. Like you're just kind of pointing down, and like it just kind of keeps
Oh,
moving you forward.
but
And
honestly,
you can't really even
spaceship.
stop.
If you're in a spaceship and you see an archway of stone,
Yeah, you should be able to hit it.
you should be able to fly under it
You should be able to.
and fail.
Fiery glory, just like No Man's Sky. Amazing.
I'm just saying, if Just Cause can do it,
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm confident that they'll patch something in, or at least an option for something like that.
Yeah, so one of the weird things, like for instance, like you don't actually have any, what's up and down? Is that called Z-axis?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have any Z-axis control.
Hmm.
Like you can't actually stop your ship and then just go like up and down. Like you're always perpetually going forward. It's very much like an airplane, but just at some points it's moving irrationally slow. But you can never stop it either.
So you
on
go
the
into
planet.
the planet and then it just kind of levels you out, and you
Yeah,
go.
and you can get nice and low. Like, you can certainly see all the details, but the yeah, no, the plane it's
I'm
a little.
climbing down off the fence. I don't want to. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think
You're losing, Jeff. Fix this.
I wouldn't want to. I would not want to buy it for it. I think at the moment it is a subpar space flyer,
Oh,
and I think it's.
Jeff's gone.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't want to lie to you because
I don't
it's
know.
the.
but it's that, and I think the inventory system was slot based. It wasn't weight based.
Yeah, no,
So everything.
it is super frustrating, but I kind of it becomes rewarding once you start to like build it up.
Okay.
I
And
don't want
I
to
thought,
manage inventory.
yeah. Sorry,
Honestly,
bud.
I've seen videos where you can't swap the two slots because you need an empty slot to swap them, and then you
It's like
can't
that
talk.
stupid puzzle game.
You can't talk to an NPC if your inventory is full. It won't let you.
What?
So
So one of the
you have to drop something to
Mhm.
talk to the dude.
Yeah, no, it is frustrating, man. Like
Which you
it's
can
not.
patch. You could patch that, right? These are minor things, but
One one thing for instance is like so you can build enhancements. Right, two interesting things. So when you can build enhancements, a thing that they decided to a lot of this stuff, there's no tutorials. Right, there's a few at the beginning, but it's not in depth.
I think
But
Gavin's crying. I'm not sure.
yeah,
I'll be known as the Dream Crusher. I'm sorry.
uh,
Those things I noticed.
puke.
That's
but you can't. So you craft. So one thing to know is like when you craft something. Let's say you have your suit, and then you produce something that's like. A better example is the gun. If you produce something for the gun or the mining tool of it, and then you produce an augmentation for the mining, if you put it so that in the grid it's attached or it's touching the original mining thing, you get a bonus. You get a boost. Like that's
okay.
described nowhere.
Oh wow.
So wait,
now, now,
if you pack your suitcase better,
yeah,
you
and
get a
then
bonus.
funny story though, you can't move it once you've locked in that piece of technology. You can't move around any of the things that you build. You can move around substances, so if you have like minerals or whatever, you cannot
Wow.
move the tech. Yeah, so you'd have to like you have to destroy it for less.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I
Come
guess
on.
yeah, I don't know why I'm not sure the lot if it was oversight or there's some logic to it. The inventory, for instance, the inventory thing and the limits, um, I think made sense as far as like because if it was just infinite, like you would eventually be able to just fly forever,
No,
right?
I mean like more weight. So if you carry like, I don't know, 80 nitrogens and you're too
Yeah.
heavy and you start like that's your limit versus I only have 4 slots, so I can only carry
Yeah, because you could
four
like
things.
say stock up on rudimentary supplies, but then like the precious things are denser, so like
Yeah. Well, there's
they
some
take up more
cleverness.
weight.
There's some cleverness with it. So within a particular item, like it'll stack up to on your person, I think it stacks up to 75 or
Okay.
100, and then on the ship it'll stack up to 500.
Yeah, okay.
And then if you're within a certain range of your ship, you can just like beam it off to your ship. So
Okay.
there's a little bit of like cleverness around that. That one feels a bit more intelligent. Um, yeah, no, the moving stuff around. I don't know if it's just to make you think about it or to have consequence to crafting new things or like reconfigurations. You can't like you have to go out and kind of craft again and find materials. But
Oof.
it's certainly interesting how they've done it. I think like the limits I understand because again, otherwise you would just farm one planet for an hour and
Yeah.
you'd be able to fly
Yeah.
forever,
Be
and
done.
you'd be forced not to stop. Like you never have to stop at another planet. Um, yes, it's as one of the big complaints. Again, I'm as much as I struggled with it, I was just like, oh, like I just want like 2 more spots so I could store more than this. This is annoying. It's certainly been rewarding as like they've slowly built slots, and you find them a decent amount throughout the game through interaction with aliens, through drop pods that you find on the planet. It's relatively easy to start to stack them up, and same with the ship. But if anything, like it's kind of a decent incentive to keep going, right? Because you want to just find like, oh, I want a better what they call the multi-tool, the main gun that you have. I want a
Hmm.
cooler ship, like with more spots. I want more spots in my suit so I can store more and I can craft more and I can like that's certainly a progression. Then all of a sudden you start to feel like, okay, I got all these spaces now. I can do a lot cooler things. Like it's a bit of a
Acts
frustrating
as
at
a
first,
lure.
but hmm?
Acts as a lure.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
kind of
kind
like Borderlands. You're like, I want that better gun. Oh, you keep playing.
of yeah.
One
It's
more.
not as actiony.
One more world.
Yep.
Yeah, so even so, despite all those things, like yeah, I think the space thing was a bit of a bummer, and I hope they kind of fix the flight a little bit. I think the main thrust of it honestly does feel like being on the ground and kind of kicking around these planets, and then plotting your course to it. and then flight kind of between the planets or to the space station. But that stuff all feels great. I'd say it's
So the
definitely
space
not.
flight is more utility, but the meat of the game is getting out of the ship.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe to say at the moment.
Which I think the trailers would have led me to believe the other, like, it was more about space flight. I don't know. That I could do what I wanted, land where I want, get out, do what I want,
Yeah,
swim, get back in the ship, crash. But
Crash again.
again, they might not have got that feedback, and now they have that feedback, and their patches have been pretty insane in terms of what they've changed in the game, right? Like the day one basically changed the game from what they had, and they're saying cloud tech is coming, and new anti-aliasing is coming, and all this other
yeah,
stuff. So
and like and introduction of new features too. Apparently, they're coming at it very much like it's been compared to The Witcher, like The Witcher 3 and their strategy around just free DLC.
You're just trying to get Jeff back on board.
Yeah, play to the soft spots. No, but I think The Witcher was. I think The Witcher had what, like 16 free bits of DLC. Like it was some
yeah,
unbelievable amount, and all free. And I think these guys have stated currently that the goal is like, yeah, we're just going to keep launching like DLC. We have a bunch of plans to keep going. And there's ones coming out, for instance, about base building, and you can actually fly those huge carriers that I was trying to defend earlier.
Can you build chairs?
see, now that would be cool in the multiplayer aspect if that ever happens, because maybe that will happen. Maybe they just can't do it now. But if you're in the carrier and I'm starting out new and I have to defend you, like that would be cool. I don't think like that's a lot to say about a game that has 15 people making it or whatever, but that would be really neat. But I kind of thought of it as that, like a sci-fi space opera.
Yeah, I think it's exploration. The minor note of the space flying, but it's more about what does this system have? Like
Yeah.
what are these planets like? And then you land, and it's an ice world, and all the plants look like pineapples. And oh my God, there's a massive dinosaur. Oh, there's a cave system for something. Like it's just like I found a complete water world where all the bases were like underwater for some reason. Like it was bizarre. Like there's so much stuff under the water, like almost exclusively. Like if there was a base, it was always you had to swim down to get to it. And the fish are terrifying. Like just, it is not cool to be underwater with some of these things. They look like some of the worst dinosaur versions of fish. Like it is just, like the fish dinosaurs that have the huge long
Oh, yeah,
toothy.
yeah.
Oh man, there are some terrifying animals in this thing.
I want to see like the Lovecraftian horrors that they have.
There's some good ones out there. Yeah.
Pretty scary looking. That and
Yeah.
pandas.
Yes, yeah. Again, I can't. I'm still just in absolute love with it. I mean, like all the warts and all, as far as those things, I think those can be some things that they do improve. But even I wouldn't go into it saying like, oh, they'll improve it, get it anyways. I think like the core would have to be you have to get onto the planet and get some resources, and then find a new base, and then you find another base, and then you find an abandoned ship, and like that process and that bit of it is appealing to you and exciting. And then you hop to another planet. And if that part isn't, it's probably best to be wary on it for a while.
Mhm.
But as far as arriving here after 3 years of anticipation and seeing all those trailers, like I'm taken aback. Like I cannot believe it's delivered as much as it has.
That's good.
Like it's as close. Like this. I am playing the game that I saw 3 years ago.
Because the hype around it was insane. Like I don't think they could deliver on any of that hype. There's no way.
I'm really happy Trevor likes it, because if not, it would have crushed his soul.
Yeah, that would have been it.
Also,
It's like new day crying like week over week. I was trying to think. I'm not even 100% sure though that they ever promised to do VR. Much for all my talking of it. One of the reasons I bought the PlayStation. Hold on. I'm gonna do a
They
quick Google
were
search.
talking of it, but I don't know.
Trevor, you're so happy right now. Why crush
Yeah,
your
don't crush your dreams.
Even if it didn't come with VR, I would be fine.
It's VR for PS4 and Neo.
Oh, don't do that.
Just so it's out there. But you
Okay, hold
can't
on.
get it.
So, ready? Let's see. So I'm going to read the internet now.
Oh, don't do that.
You're gonna break your soul.
No, that's fine. Let's see. No Man's Sky finally gets release date PlayStation VR support. ... PSVR support is exciting, but no confirmations.
Well, another 3 years, you'll be living the
Yeah,
dream.
we'll be all set.
Yep.
Oh god. Da.
Another 3 years of Trevor doing the development by himself in his basement.
Oh, I'll build it.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Or it's just like dioramas, like with construction paper, and he just.
Let's see the. No, so I think okay. So they definitely haven't confirmed it. They've only discussed it and they like it. So it's a clearly feeling chatty about the impending release of the game. Murray let it slip in a chat with GameSpot that Hello Games saw No Man's Sky as the perfect fit for the upcoming PlayStation VR. But he never said
Confirmation
like,
enough. I'd go with that.
yeah, he told them like then the guy pressed him for an official announcement and he said that's as far as I can comment.
Ooh, it
Yeah.
sounds like he's fishing for a dev kit.
If only I had one in the office. Wink, wink.
No, I
Nudge,
think
nudge.
it would be a safe-ish bet that they would get support, but I don't know, maybe.
We'll see. Either way, I would still be satisfied with it. Like it's been, man, they did it. I cannot believe they delivered. And I was just from reading and I've read a lot of the detractors of it. And I think it's just a lot of people saying like I don't. It's like what else am I supposed to do? Or like what I find this boring or any of those other items, and I just don't. For myself and anyone else I know that has bought the game and played it, like I'm not getting that back. And that's not to say it doesn't exist. It's just like that means that this isn't a type of game for you.
Yeah, like if it's
Right,
not your
'cause-
cup of tea, then fine. Like just because there's a lot of hype around it doesn't mean everybody's gonna like it. But for those who are really craving this experience, it's gonna, it's gonna scratch that itch.
Yeah, I think
I'm happy
I think it's hard not to get kind of excited, but when you see some of the quick videos, some of the gifs of some of the things people have discovered or done, or the ships, the aliens are just hilarious. Like landing on a jungle world with massive trees and like you said, little Star Wars character was running around, little Ewoks.
The best alien I saw was a full-on like T-Rex, but it had little butterfly wings and it was just flying. It was just hovering. I was like, that's amazing. I would laugh so hard at that.
Yeah, I was terrified. I had this one, like I was literally like taken aback. I had this like shock because I looked over on this mountain. There's this looming T-Rex like animal just like silhouetted, and he's
Oh,
just
wow.
like standing there, like kind of like staring at me. I'm just like, oh god, that is that is frightening as hell. What the hell is that thing?
Yep.
Oh, then some of these like bug creatures that just move way too fast and they're coming at you all of a sudden, like it's. And that's one planet, and then you take off and you go to the next, and you hop on, and there's this weird space orby thing that I don't want to discuss on here because everyone should just experience it. Like it is, man, it is cool, man. It is. I'm so happy. They just happy from just personally. I enjoy it. Yay, I'm having fun. But just happy that this thing happened. Like they talked about it, they hyped it. It's been 3 years, and despite some of the salt you're seeing online, I think it's really incredible. Yes.
That's yeah. You checked that bucket list. You just checked it.
Yeah.
I didn't even start the clock when Trevor started on his No Man's Sky go.
Oh man, I could. I think there'll be at least. I should try to like catalog at least one of the absurd space stories that like ends at it.
Like every
Yeah,
episode for the next year, we will give Trevor 10 minutes of his No Man's story.
Yeah.
And you can do like your first planet where you got lost in a cave. You can do a little like, all right, kids, gather around the campfire. Trevor's got a story to tell, and you can tell us your little until Jeff and I end up buying it, and then we're just gonna the rest of the podcast is just gonna be us doing that.
little space ventures.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Do we do like 1930s like radio style like?
Yeah. Oh, you get like the coconut shells, do the clop of hooves on.
This week on Spice Ventures.
No Man's Sky.
Does Trevor survive the planet?
Perfect. See, we got the voices down. Let's do it.
Done.
We need a sound
What are
effect
we doing with
first.
this other nonsense? We just do that.
Space Venture. All right, gentlemen. With that wonderful news, I think we'll end it off for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening once again. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you have any questions or show ideas or anything else you'd like to reach out to us for, you can find us on our website at newdadgaming.com. The show comes out weekly. You can find us on iTunes, Google's podcasting service, and many other feeds wherever fine podcasts are served up. Reach
He's
to the
lost his
stars.
own answer. What planet am I
like how
on?
Trevor said Googles. Like, make sure
Google's
you get
a
all
pro-
the Googles.
Just Google's.
Well, the beginning was there has to be some train wreck somewhere. And the beginning went so smoothly, buttery smooth,
Yep.
some would say.
We cashed in all our chips on that beautiful opening.
Yeah.
So we do the show weekly. We would love it if you could subscribe and rate us. You can reach us on our website and also Twitter and Facebook. And until next week, thank you once again. My name is Trevor, and I have a 1-year-old.
My name's Gavin. I have a 1-year-old.
My name's Jeff. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Boom.
Take to the skies, guys.
Take to the skies.
Of no man.
Ah, danger zone. Danger zone.
Why didn't they license that music?
You need to play that on Spotify.
Right now.
You can do it in the background. You need
Just
to
like
do that.
just imagine like the slow build up and like it slowly fades in as you go into planet. Highway to the... Then you just start to point up and like the fires start shooting you.
There you go.
Well, we just figured out what Trevor's doing tonight.
Gonna find some aviator sunglasses and his
Yeah. Got his
Manners jacket.
volleyball shirt.
My wife keeps asking why I keep calling her Goose.
What is? Why do you keep calling me Goose? I don't understand.
Go with it, honey. Danger zone. All right, bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.